Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia Nail Crafts, and it's time for Dawn and Julia Create. So we're making a snippet roll today. This is Dawn's challenge. I am just going to make a small one because guess what? You'll never guess. It's Saturday morning. Oh dear, one day. I always have a good excuse every week, and I've got a good excuse this week as well. It's a 3-day migraine. And yeah. And also I apologise if the sound is slightly tinny. I am recording with no microphone because my microphone seems to have some sort of catastrophic failure. It looks like the amplifier is blown up in some way, so I'm having to go purely on the camera's microphone, which isn't as good. And my husband is, we're obviously like looking to purchase something straight away because filming is essential to my business. Anywho, so we're making a snippet roll. Dawn's brief was to use blue and grey colours and our bit box to make a snippet roll. So I've not made a snippet roll in ages and I was quite excited, and then I suddenly realised that she's not put any mediums on it. So normally when making a snippet roll I would normally blend it all together by using some of my distress inks or something to sort of tie it all together. So I've just realised that my usual things for tying things together are not there. The other thing I also like to do is to have fancy edges, and normally I get my punches and things out, but again they're not on the list. But we are working from our scrap boxes, and I've got, do you remember when these like scalloped cards were all the fashion? And I bought loads at the time, and now I don't really like scallop cards. Sometimes I will make a card that the bottom edge will have a scallop, but I cut off the sides because I'm not a big fan, so I'm still using the card bases. So I've got all these sort of scalloped edges in my box of scraps. So seeing as we're working with scraps, I reckon that's allowed. It's not quite my bit box, but it is my box of scraps. But my bit box is literally the bits, and then I've got a box of scrap card and I've got a box of scrap paper. So I'm just using these extra bits now just to add a bit of detail. I think all the rest of my scallops are these big scallops, which is a bit annoying because I would prefer to have a bit more variety, but yeah, I don't have a huge amount of time as usual, so we'll just go with the flow. So this side's going to be nice and interesting with lots of different edges, and this side's just going to have big scallops. What can you do? But I'm using up scraps, so it's all good. And you very rarely use your snippet roll as a whole. I don't know what Dawn's planning on doing with it. I've no idea what I'm doing for my next challenge either, with the robots. We might not be doing anything with robots because I've not thought yet, but we'll find out. I'll have to start thinking actually, because poor Dawn. Poor Dawn's normally filmed by now and I've not even given her the challenge yet. Right, so I'm going to stick these down. As I said, this is just going to... Actually, I might not even stick it down the whole of the way. I might just put 2 bits down, just so it's not too uniform. I don't really like things too uniform. So that'll be interesting. So it's ages since I've made a snippet roll. I was quite proud of myself when I came up with it, because snippet rolls in general, or started... Oh, I've got one of these edges. Yay! Perfect. Snippet rolls started more in the soft crafts industry, so the leftovers of your fabrics and your fabrics, yeah, basically the leftover of your fabrics, your ribbons, your odds and ends, and then you sort of stitch them all together, which then made almost like a jelly roll sort of strip of fabric, and then from that strip of fabric you could then make new things, but it was a bit more interesting because you'd got all these different things. So that's kind of where the snippet roll originated. When I first did a snippet roll, there wasn't really, it hadn't really hit the paper craft industry yet. To be honest, I mean, I'm not claiming to be the first, because I probably really wasn't, because we're all creative beings. But I'd never, when I did mine, I'd never seen anyone do a paper snippet roll. It had always been fabric ones. And I suddenly thought, oh, I wonder if I could do that with paper. And I did. I made a whole load with paper and did a couple of videos with them. And then since then, I haven't done it in ages. So when I did it the first time, I'd taken, like, you know the tube of paper you get when you do wrapping, you get wrapping paper and you get leftovers. I had done that. And I had that. Hello, little. I've got a little not well kitty. She's got conjunctivitis and her little eye looks so sore, poor toot. I need to actually wipe her eye and get drops in it. I was looking for her earlier and then she seemed to have disappeared. Yeah, so the inside, you know when you buy wrapping paper and it kind of comes in a roll. So the inside of that, I used that, so it was a bit more like a big roll. Whereas today I've just used a card from my scrap card box. And to be honest, again, a lot of this is down to when I make cards, I very rarely stick to the size that they're supposed to be. In all honesty, I quite often just chop them down into a different size. So then I end up with the bottom bits left over. So these are actually bottom bits of cards that I chopped off. And then we're just sort of sat there, tiny little thin bits. I'm just going to put that down there just to sort of cover all of that. And then I'll patch over it with some of the other bits and pieces. So I've just literally gone through my scrap box, my scrap paper box, and pulled out papers that were grey and blue. And now I will put them together. And then once I've covered this, there will be bits that annoy me, and I'm just about to make a bit that annoys me. So there, where that hard edge is, I'm not going to end up liking that, but then that's where I will end up with elements from the bit box sort of covering those harsh lines, or I might sort of do it like that. Cover it that way. So I'm not going to stress about it too much right now. I'm just sort of trying to cover this, and we'll see how we get on. I'm trying to get a mixture of different. Got this is actually quite stiff though, so I'm hoping that we don't have to do anything that requires too much flexibility, because that might be quite difficult. But yeah, right now I'm just covering it, and then I'll sort of deal with the harsh edges. And I'm trying to get a mixture of the blue and, let me bring that further down, the blue and the grey. Bring that further down, that means these bits haven't come far enough, so we'll just get a little bit of paper to tear, and that'll just bring that further down so it's slightly more even. And I don't mind that if it goes over my little bumpy edges, because I don't want it too harsh anyway. It's just to give it a slightly more interesting edge so it's not straight. That's kind of really the sum total of why I want to do that. Oh, I like that paper. We'll put some more of that up here. So I'm going to get a bigger chunk of this one. And so I've obviously stamped on there, so there's a bit of a random shape there, but again, that can be something that's covered at a later date when we get the whole bit box stuff going. So I'm covering it quite quickly. But I've just realised I've got loads of scraps like this. Having just, you know, rummaged through to get what I'm doing today, I've discovered I've got quite a lot of bits and pieces. So I might actually sit sometime and oh, words. I might sit sometime and make a whole load of them, because yeah, I've got plenty of these sort of funny scraps that I can't really do too much with. Quite often I pull them out and that's where I like to stamp a sentiment on it or something. It's sort of the scrap card that I would use for doing that sort of thing. But yeah, I might do this as a change. Put that one up here. that quite quickly. And as I said, we'll pull out the bit box and see what we've got in there, and then I might add some extra bits of paper in just a second. Put some more of this stuff on because I really like it. And I love this because I'm using every tiny little scrap. And you know me, I like using every tiny little scrap. Now the thing is, you're most likely going to chop this up and use it on different projects. I think I did somewhere, I put one on a card, I put one down the edge of a journal, so you maybe only use like that much of it. But still, because I've now put that there, I want to put some of these scraps a little bit further over here so that that my snippet roll makes a bit more sense to me. I am funny about these things. So I'll just pop that there, and it's just so that it looks, I don't know, so it looks like it belongs a bit more. Okay, get in there. Got this, that looks quite nice. I think that's from one of the works kits, you know, the tropical kits. I think Dawn and I did quite a bit with those kits over the years. I think that's a remainder of another Dawn and Julia Create that one. Pop that there just to fill that bit. Oops. Oh, I've lost the ability to speak. I've had my break. I don't know if you can see, but I'm still in my PJs. PJs on. So I've not really had chance to sort of wake up and get the brain working. So yeah, the ability to speak hasn't quite turned up yet. What have we got? That's a really old paper. I think that's a paper pad from like probably like close to when I first started. It's pretty though. Still pretty. Right. We've got that there, and then we've still got a little gap just here which needs rectified. What have we got? Just need a little bit of something, that'll do. Right. There we go. Right, so now we've covered all of that. Right, I've got in this paper here, I realise there's pink, but there's also bits that are grey elements. So we've got this little postage mark here. So I'm going to cut out some of these and stick those on. I've got this stamp. Well, this one, if I cut the pink off those two, then we've got grey. And this is actually the packaging. It's not even the actual paper. That was me saving the packaging, so I'm okay with, like, you know, cutting off these extra bits here. So I'll pop them on, and then we'll read the old bit box and see what we have. I might put these on some of the bits with the harsh edges. See, now I won't mind this being a harsh edge because it's meant to be, because it's the edge of a stamp. I do mind my ripped paper having a hard edge. Don't ask me why. It's just the way my crazy old brain works. Right, and then we'll have that there. I would also actually, but it's not in the brief, quite like, once I've done this, to sort of do some stitching on my sewing machine through it all. I think that can kind of unify it quite nicely as well. So let's stick that there. Stick these two here, and I'm just going to tidy up my desk a little bit and pull out the bit box. I'm just putting that over there to hide that hard edge. And then I need to look to see if there's any other edges that bother me. And I'll cover those bits first. Like so there's one there and one there. So those bits will get covered. Okay, so just going to clear these. Well, I'm not going to put them away. I'm actually literally just going to put them to the side like that. And then I'm just going to pull my bit box out. Okay, so I've pulled out a load of elements from my bit box. I'm not sure if the elements are meant to be blue and grey as well, or whether that can be any colour. I really don't know. So I've tried to pick out bits that are more bluey, but I've also just been a rebel and put other bits in there as well. Should I just tuck that under there? So yeah, I've got a few bits that possibly, I don't know, am I meant to have non-blue bits in it, or is the whole thing meant to be blue? It is a mystery. I'm going to use these little, it's that tiny little strip, I'm going to use that. This is what these things are good for. Doing exercises like that, you can actually get rid of scraps that small, and it feels good. I'm just going to stick, I have no idea what the plan is for them, I'm just going to stick them there, because why not? Now see, I've got some like white die cuts, and this is where I would have liked to have had an ink pad, because if I could have inked the edges with like a blue or a light blue or a light grey, it would have just tied it in, whereas I think the white's going to be quite stark against that, and yeah, so I'm not sure how much I will use those, but we will see. This is a little, I don't want the whole shape, but the flower's quite pretty, so I'm just going to pop elements together, pop them all on, and just see what happens. I'll maybe put it there, because then it'll give that other line a bit of a purpose. So this is going to be random, but then that's kind of the whole point of a snippet roll. So here I've got half a butterfly, which is fine. So if I just cut out this half, and then what I can do is just peek the half that makes no sense, like that, just under, and it'll be fine. So if we do it sort of like that, just looks like the butterfly wing is covered. Don't know. I don't know. Try not to overthink it too much. I might not put too much on. I don't really know. I haven't decided. See, now that's got blue in it. So will I be cheating by having it there? Yeah. I guess I'll find out. I'll guess I find out if I was wrong or not. If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry. But there's blue on it, so, you know, I'm going to say it's okay. I'm going to say it's all good. I don't know if I'll be in trouble. Am I on the naughty step? Am I on the naughty step, Dawn? Oh, that's covered that bit that I'm not so fond of as well, so that's even more wonderful. I've got a bit of lace, so we'll stick that there. And then we'll have to find something to secure it down. This is what's good, because it's a whole load of random bits, and you can just stick utter randomness together, and it works. I think this is going to come together quite quickly. It does help that I've done the tiniest snippet roll in the world. That does make life slightly easier. Oh, a cloud! How exciting! A bit more glue on that. Where should we have our cloud? Yeah, we'll have it there. That looks fun. So as I said, it's a great way of just random bits, random scraps. So I've pulled scraps from my my card scraps, I've pulled scraps from my paper scraps, and I've pulled scraps from my bit box, and then we're just randomly mushing them all together, and somehow it works. Got a cupcake. Again, this has got blue on it, so I'm calling it. I'm saying it's allowed. I seem to be sort of clustering my elements. Obviously, getting a feel for the collage part. These are little printouts from Alina's Inspi Art. She's actually got some gorgeous little swirly bits there, which I think could be marvellous. So I'm going to cut them out because I think we could use them quite easy on this. And we shall see how we go with this. Da, da, da. Right. Sorry, I feel like I keep losing the ability to talk. Might be quite a relief to some people. I'm sure my husband would think it was quite a relief. Well, apparently I'm going to be getting more organised, so that it could be fun. Signed up for a business course, and the first thing they have you doing is working out a morning routine. And creating a plan for the month, broken down into a plan for the week, broken into a plan for do you know what I mean? It's like a plan for the quarter, broken into your plan for the month, broken into a plan for the week, broken into a plan for the day. So who knows? I might actually get organised. How marvellous would that be? Right, I'm going to stick that down there. So you could very well be seeing a new me. I'll be starting to prep my videos before I've even been given the brief. Oh dear. Well, there's hope. Where there's life, there's hope. Let's stick a love heart down. Oh yeah, have that there. Right. So I hope whatever Dawn chooses to do with the snippet roll, it's a small project, because I've only got a small snippet roll. See, it's just about the length of the desk. Right. It's given me an idea of what I might do on my next live with Crafting Together with All Brands. I don't think I've done a snippet. I don't think anyone's done a snippet roll on there. And yeah, so that might be what I might do actually. Because now that I've sat down to do it, I'm thinking this is great fun. I could actually quite happily sit here all day making snippet rolls because I'm just in that sort of mood. But I have to be on a Zoom meeting in half an hour, so I have to have finished this within half an hour. So I'll not be sitting all day doing it. Plus I'm going out to see a friend. We've both got daughters the same age, so I'm going to give them a chance to play and have a coffee with a friend. And yeah, so yeah, there's not going to be much more crafting for me today, but it's a shame because I just feel quite in the groove, to be honest. I just feel quite, like in the moment, I just feel like I could just sit there and put some music on and just quietly make snippet rolls all day and be quite happy and just feel at peace with life. I think we're kind of on the home straight with this, to be honest. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling it. It's just may as well use this last little one. Be rude not to. So yeah, so from the start of next week, I'm sort of building my morning routine. So it's like they have all these things that they want you to do in the morning before you even start the day. It's like, ha! So yeah, building that. Let's see, put that up here. That sort of helps that deformed butterfly look slightly better. I really like that little typewriter, but it's not blue, and I just really don't know if we're allowed to have not blue. Shall I be a rebel? Don't really want that. A little blueberry. Oh, Oh, that looks quite nice there. I don't know, are we allowed? See, now if I'd prepped this not on the last day, I would have had time to say to Dawn, are we allowed stuff that's not blue? But because I haven't, I can't. So there be a lesson. Oh dear. I make myself laugh. Right. There we go. What do we think, guys? What do you think, ladies and gents? Are we... Oh, look, I've got another one of these. Let's stick that on, because I'm quite loving these little swirls. These have been a fortuitous find in the old bit box. So these, as I said, these are Elena Zinsky Arts. She has a Etsy shop, I think. And she sells digital downloads. And a lot of her elements are coloured, which is fantabulous. Yeah, and they're handy little things. You can just print a whole load of them up. So that's what I did. I printed a whole load of them up, and then most of them were satin fussy cut. So like these, that's Selena, that's her stuff as well. So I have fussy cut most of them. I just obviously hadn't got around to fussy cutting these little swirly doodads. But then they can... I'd done a few projects with them, and I just had a couple left. So hence they got relegated to the bit box. I'm quite glad they were in there, because I think they've added quite a fun little funky element, quite frankly. Right, so where can we put this? Oh, put it over here. Yeah, I think I put it here, but then we need a little something to just cover the base of that. It's quite random. I have got very elegant flowers here and an elegant style bird cage, and then we've got like a little funky chicken over here. Got it all going on. Do you know, actually, if I just tear the edge of that, it's going to match the torn edge. Oh my god. Of that. Quite like, I don't particularly want the girl, but this is a little music score thing on top of her head, which I think could be quite nice somewhere. Let me just pop that there. It's one of these things though that you could stop. This is absolutely, could be finished right now where it is, but I'm sort of scanning my bits and going, oh, could I add that here, could I add that there? So it's kind of, yeah, I think that is a very successful snippet roll, and I could absolutely stop there if I wanted to, but you can just keep going for as long as you want. So I'm just going to see if there's any more of these bits that I really fancy using. And yeah, I just tuck that key so that we're seeing half it. Yeah, and just pop them on. Pop it so that it's just half of it coming out. And another key there. Yeah, which we could stick there. As I said, I would have quite liked to have given them a bit of a you know, just a bit of a colour tint with a distress ink. But I don't know what we're doing with them, so I might get away with adding that later, depending on what the brief is next time. Just thinking that'd be quite nice because it ties in with that one over there. Plus it just uses it up. Oh, all very wonderful. I'm all for using things up. There we go. I don't think he really goes. I mean, it could go there, but... Or we could... Oh, I might stick him over there. Why not? Oh, I can barely see it on the screen. There we go. Stick him over there. And I think that might be me. Hold on. Oh, I've got a little circle. definitely be put somewhere. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? Little circle. Maybe there. I was trying to decide where it wanted its little home to be. Right. I don't want a big bunny rabbit. What else have we got in there? Not feeling any of that really. Nope. Nope, nope. Yep, I think that might be, yeah. What's this? Random sentiment. A ladybug hug. We've no ladybirds on here. So let's stick the sentiment a ladybug hug on it because, yeah, why wouldn't you? Right, she says, it's all dependent on whether I can just tuck that here. There we go. Right, that is my snippet rule all done. So, if you want to see a proper snippet roll, and probably one that's way bigger than this and much more spectacular, do pop over to see Dawn. To see what she's done. I should really tidy my desk and show it to you properly. But to be honest, I'm not going to be able to zoom in properly for you to see it. The easiest way for me is just to roll it like that for you to see it. But that's my snippet roll all done. So please do pop across and see what the gorgeous Dawn has done with hers. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing. We will be back, I think probably next month when we'll be doing something with this, but we'll be back in a fortnight with some other challenge. And I will stop waffling now and say have a good and lovely crafty day, and I will see you guys very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.